news, some positive news, and some that you need to be wary of. I'm Sonal Kapoor here in Mumbai.
I'm Toya Singh joining you from New Delhi, and let's bring you that first very positive dose of news coming in straight from Paris along with all of our other headlines. So first, Paris Olympics, you already know the big updates. What are Day 11's big highlights? Vinesh Fogart triumphs, doing the unimaginable. She's the first Indian woman wrestler in an Olympic final. A moment of pride for all of us, as the queen of comebacks has dominated every single match she's been in. We'll walk you through that. We also, of course, though, saw a heartbreak in hockey. We fell to Germany in semi-finals in hockey. But what else do we have to look forward to in the last few days of the Olympics? That and more, we'll bring you the breakdown.
Why do we fall for cyber frauds? From doctors, lawyers, engineers, now even cyber security experts are falling for these scams. How to stay away from it? Is it the art of hacking the human mind that needs to be decoded? We deep dive into the subject on the program.
And then we bring you a doctor's diary, not just any doctor. This is Dr. Kalra's book. She's just released a book called I Want a Boy, and it sheds light on India's dark reality when it comes to continuing preference for a single gender. So she does talk about female feticide, but also, very interestingly, she talks about her behind-the-scenes stories too.
Helping Delhiites one plate at a time. This is the story behind Vidit Sharma's initiative, where a food stall has been turned into an everyday place of hope. He's serving meals in just 5 rupees.
And from the world of defense exports are skyrocketing with the BrahMos deal. India is leading the way. BrahMos missiles are delivered from importer to exporter. India's defense transformation, what it means for the country.
All right, the good news this morning, and it's a happy punch that we want to talk about. Vinesh Fogart made history as the first ever Indian woman wrestler to qualify for the Olympic final. She dominated her Cuban counterpart Guzman with the decisive 5-0 victory, securing a place in the gold medal match of the women's freestyle 50 kg event. Now, Vinesh's remarkable journey began with the stunning upset over the reigning Olympic champion over there, advancing her to the quarterfinals. She then triumphed over Osaka as well with a hard-fought 7-5 win in the semi-finals.
India is hoping to increase its medal tally, and apart from Vinesh, who else do we have our hopes pinned on? Golden boy Neeraj Chopra continuing to shine in the men's javelin throw. He's now qualified for the final with an impressive throw of 89.34 meters in the qualification round. Very much, as we said, keeping India's medal hopes alive. There was also, though, the heartbreak in a bittersweet turn. The men's hockey team facing heartbreak after a narrow 2-3 loss to Germany in the semi-finals. They now prepare to battle Spain for the bronze medal. They're hoping to secure a podium finish.
That's not it. We are always counting down on the Indian table tennis team, consisting of Sharat Kamal, Harmeet Desai and Manav Thakkar. They faced a formidable challenge against the top-seeded Chinese team and were eliminated in the round of 16 with a 0-3 defeat. So some hits, some misses over there. But this is the countdown to the final few days, and we are really sitting on the edge of our seats with our fingers crossed. All right, moving on with all those updates coming in from Paris to the latest scam alert in town. Now, picture this. A Kerala-based lawyer, renowned for his expertise in cybercrime cases, who's helped countless people navigate the murky waters of internet fraud, you would think he's the last person to fall victim to a scam like this, right? Wrong. In a very, very twisted case, this cybercrime specialist found himself trapped by a cunning stock trading app scam losing a whopping 93 lakh rupees. 93 lakh by a cyber crime lawyer. Imagine that. So what's their hope for people like you and I? If experts can get duped, it's a wake-up call clearly for all of us.
But how did any of this happen? It all began with a seemingly innocent download, as it always does, of an app promising lucrative returns on stock trading. Before he even knew it, this cybercrime lawyer was caught in a web of deceit, and it illustrates that these scammers are getting smarter and more sophisticated day by day. Today, we're not just talking about any other scam. We're going to be diving into the depths of how even those who know all the tricks of the trade can be outfoxed. We'll explore the psychology behind these scams, the latest tactics, the very latest tactics that we're seeing scammers use across the country, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself from becoming their next target.
Now sample this. Just in the last 1 year, as much as 177 crore was lost on account of credit card, debit card, internet banking frauds. And these are just the reported figures, remember. And when you see so many well-educated people, senior police officers, civil servants, DMs in some cases, lawyers, IT professionals, teachers all fall prey to such cyber frauds, one has to look at how. What is really clear in all of this, it's not just the tech that is fooling people, it's the human nature that is being frauded. It's not just the tech hacking. More and more Indians are falling prey in our times to what is now being called human hacking. So today on the program, we will decode this art of human hacking for you with someone who's been studying this subject for a while. Joining us next is Dr. Mukesh Chandar. He's a former IPS officer, worked with Delhi Police for a very long time with the cyber security branch as well. Now has a practice, is independently sort of, the flag bearer, as they say, of letting people know and get educated on this front. We also will be joined shortly by somebody who's very peculiar. He's managed to evade a cyber fraud. So I'm very interested to know how he managed that, and all of us have clearly something to learn from Amar. Amar is a stock market trader and he trusts nobody, and we'll tell you all about that in a bit. But first up, I want to take a question with our guest first. Dr. Mukesh, when we look at frauds all around us today, it is no longer we don't look at only people who are gullible. We are looking at well-educated people, IITians in some cases, even people in position of power like IITians, like DMs, like tech engineers. When they fall prey, what does that tell you about how the cybercrime space is actually unfolding in the country?
Good morning, Sonal and Toya. A small correction. Name is Mukesh Chandar. Now coming to the
Dr. Chandar, yeah.
Why well-educated people, tech-savvy, and even IT professionals are falling prey to cyber crimes like this. The problem is that cyber criminals have been able to dig into the psychology of human mind, and they have understood it very well, and that is what they are exploiting. The basic human weaknesses which are existing in anyone, they are manipulated and exploited. For example, greed, fear, kind-heartedness, trust, and fear of missing out. These are 5-6 I can quote right now. And the entire thing is now called social engineering. How to manipulate a human mind, how to hack a human mind. This is an interesting branch of cybersecurity which is emerging. Now coming to the basic question. So many offers will be available to you to make quick money. And we forget the basic saying, money does not grow on trees. And then the cycle starts. Very exorbitant amount of returns are promised. Something on Twitter, verified account will tell you that this thing is happening. Some news channel, for example, I would be not hiding this. NDTV editorials are issuing these advertisements where a air hostess or a Zomato boy has invested some money and then he has become a crorepati. Now, coming from trusted sources, as I said, the basic human nature of trust. Some people who are not skeptical, I would say, being skeptical is a good trait right now. They fall prey to it, and then the entire knowledge of IT, law, or policing is kept aside, and the person is totally blinded by that greed, and that is how the manipulation takes place. And once you are into it, till you lose a huge sum of money, you don't realize that you have been hacked, and you think that you are making money, a lot of money. And such messages will keep coming, such apps will be there where your money will appear to be going. But unfortunately, world is not like that. Money really doesn't grow on trees. The safest investment of banking, mutual funds, stock market, real estate, gold, we all leave that behind and go to these scamsters and put all our money into these frauds. Unfortunately, that is what it is. And inside with fear also, the exploitation of fear, sextortion, something somebody tells you that you have sent a parcel and in which narcotics drugs have been found, and then customs come in, and then fake cops come in, and all your money is transferred to certain private accounts in the name of Reserve Bank of India. And people don't realize that this is all illegal. This doesn't happen. The systems do not work like this. The procedures are well defined. One is not aware. In the same way, digital arrest. This is a new concept. For the last 1.5 years, we have been seeing it. As per law is concerned, as per criminal justice system is concerned, there is no such thing called digital arrest. If you have not done anything wrong, then you have nothing to fear. But still, very well educated people, including a very senior IPS officer, fell prey to such a situation.
Dr. Muktesh, just tell us, because you've named a few different points here. So you talked a little bit earlier about suspicious apps that people can actually download by mistake or even download deliberately, and then those apps will be transferring your money. But doctor, tell us, in your own life and for the people that you love around you, the advice, it seems, is that cultivate a sense of skepticism for any kind of text you're getting, any kind of messages you're getting. But what else? What are the tips we can put? There was a time when Truecaller was enough to download. You know, Truecaller would show you, okay, this is a hoax call, don't pick it up. But now what do you tell the people that you love around you, and what do you do in your own life?
First of all, Truecaller and all that, these are cloud-based applications. So somebody feeds his name as Mr. So-and-so, and two of his associates also put the same name. Truecaller will actually show that only. So, and you can buy these verified accounts. Today, Twitter verified or X verified accounts mean nothing because you can buy them. And there have been so many cases I have even mentioned earlier that verified accounts are spreading these frauds. So, in an environment like this, go back to the fundamentals again going back to the human teachings, what we were taught in our childhood. Do not take chocolates from strangers. So do not believe anyone who says that I will make money for you and do things like that. Do not believe if mobile number, if he says that he is a police officer or he is any XYZ, because he may be or he may not be unless you verified it. Verified by landline, verified by his credentials, and so many other ways of verifying it. But the fact that he says that I am from Telecom Regulatory Authority does not mean that he is from that, or he is from Mumbai Police or Delhi Police. It does not mean that he is from Delhi Police. So you need to verify it.
Yeah. I think the takeaway from here is that do not take chocolate from a stranger is a good analogy to remember. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. But the thing is that you sort of fall prey to it time and again. But we have somebody who did not. So let me bring in Amar now and try and understand his story. Just for the record, and this is perhaps for the first time, I want audiences to know when we approached Amar to come on the program and talk to us about his story, he did not believe us. He asked me to show my credentials. I had to then get on a call with him to prove that I am the real Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. I work for this organization. I am not a fraud at all. It took me
Once
a
bitten, twice
significant
shy.
amount of time to first convince him about it. And I have to say, thank you, Amar, for doing it. It has clearly been an experience I will not forget. And the reason I'm sharing this with this audience is that I hope they don't as well. Amar is a stock market broker. He's based out of Pune. But Amar, tell us about the call that you received and exactly what and when did you figure out, listen, there's something wrong here. This has to be a scam.
Okay, first of all, I got a call around 12 p.m. On last Friday, 2nd of August. And there was a guy who's basically presenting himself as a police officer. And firstly, he talked with me very rude language. I mean, he was asking my name and all that. So I told him that you're calling me and you don't know my name to you. So then, after having some rude conversation with him, he told me that let's speak with our senior police officer. And then when I started talking with to him, he said that you made a crime in online in I think cyber crime. So I asked myself that when did I do such crime? But he was trying to convince me that you really did some crime and now you have to pay for it.
Fear.
Yeah. So he was trying to threaten me. So I can. So then I asked him. So what was my crime? So he wasn't telling me in details. What did I actually do? I mean, so then later on, when I asked his name, I mean, who are you and from where you're calling me? Then they refused to tell their names. But they were trying to present themselves as police officers calling from Mumbai. So and he told me that now you have to come to the Mumbai headquarter, and we are going to issue you online arrest warrant. This time that guy didn't use the word what digital arrest. This time he used the
Digital
word
arrest.
online arrest warrant. So I came to know that yeah, this is literally a fraud call because I read a story about a lady which got uh, uh, scammed in this fraud police calling. So on the NDTV or I don't know India TV something. So so fortunately, I came to know this is a fraud, and he's trying to scam me. He's trying to do fraud with me. So I was aware. So I thought let's make a fun of him. From so he's trying to cheat me. I'll make a fun of him. So I started asking him different questions about him and his that junior officer and all this. So but he was basically trying to deny or to give me all the information. So he was not giving me the entire details, and so then later on. He was again and again basically telling me that yeah, you supposed to come to Mumbai headquarter and there you did a very serious crime and now you are going to pay for it and this and that. So I told him that my
That's a
father is
classic case of digital arrest.
yeah, digital arrest. So I told him that my father is a well-known advocate from Pune. So show me the proof of what really, I mean, I did any wrong job. Then he paused. As soon as I told him that my father is advocate, he's a lawyer, then he paused for just 2 or 3 seconds. And then with a very weak voice, he said that you can come with your father to Mumbai headquarters to see what is your crime. So,
Got it.
from the background, my mom also told me that yeah, this is a fraud call and don't share any your details.
But I love that आप revenge लेने लग गए. That's a fun twist to the story. It's almost something you read about in films. Someone's trying to do something to you. आपने table ही पलट दिया basically उन पे. So it's really lovely to hear your story bright and early in the morning. And Amar, you actually pointed to a few red flags, right? You said that the first question, the moment they said, "What's your name?" in your head, the question arose, they shouldn't be asking my name if they're calling me. So different red flags like that, you're even telling our viewers to look out for. We'd also like to thank Dr. Chandar for joining us. Amar, Dr. Chandar, thank you for bringing us your early morning perspective on this entire story. Let's head very quickly to a break. On the other side of the break, dignity on a plate. It's a very interesting story. Vidit Sharma's initiative. He takes 5 rupees. He provides you with food. We'll bring you the whole story, how he does it on the other side.
किसी का
भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाले। तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী পদত্যাগ করেছেন এবং এখন একটা ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট ফর্ম করে আমরা আমাদের কার্যক্রম পরিচালনা করব।
প্রধানমন্ত্রী বাসভবনের দিকে আমরা ওই জায়গায় ঘেরাও দেবো, এরপর দেখবো যে সে আছে কিনা। সম্ভবত সে নেই। বাংলাদেশ এই 14 বছর পর আবার 16 বছর পর আবার স্বাধীন হলো।
Okay, our person of interest today is a truly inspiring story. Let's bring you everything there is to know about her first. Before we do, an estimated 4 to 12 million female fetuses have been aborted in the past 3 decades. Our next guest works on the very front lines of this still very persistent phenomenon. We have with us in studios Dr. Aruna Kalra. She's just released a new book. It's called I Want a Boy, as you can see. It's a searing depiction of the realities of being a gynecologist in our country. Right from the brutal realities of meeting family after family that are somehow angling for a boy child. Sometimes they say it, sometimes they're more covert about it, to the nagging issues within our public medical system. Now, this was also one of the first times that we've gotten to read such an intimate account of the behind the scenes, what's going through a doctor's head when they hear heartbreaking demands from patients or from other families.
Thank you.
Or even unsupportive comments from their own near and dear ones, right? Dr. Aruna Kalra, I'm sure you're sort of itching in to sort of tell in your story. Let's just dive in straight away. We found very interesting anecdotes in your book. You've also spoken about how in middle of COVID, there were loopholes even in the hospital on which patient deserves to be treated first. Huge challenges there as well. So you've really, sort of bearing your heart over there. Talk to us a little bit about, when it comes to female feticide, one thing that everybody notices and one thing which has been the most shocker, at least in my experience of reporting on the issue all these years, has been that it's not who you think, it's not the uneducated, it's perhaps the ones who are most well off. These demands and a lot of times these insinuations come in from people you least expect in the society, which you would ordinarily call our educated individuals, our informed beings. Has that been your major surprise as well?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me on your morning show. So I wrote this book, I Want a Boy. I always wanted this title only because from the time I entered my post-graduation studies in Government Medical College till I started practicing from Government Medical College to government hospitals, then to corporate hospitals, there was a constant desire for a boy. So when I was in government hospital, the girls, the pregnant females would deliver one after another because they didn't have any means, one for contraception, another for having a choice. So they would deliver till they get a boy. So the mindset was totally that boy should be there for their final rituals, funeral rituals, or somebody would have that okay, we have lots of money. In government, definitely they don't, but for lineage, for all those family, they have to have their own genetic lineage, and boy can only fulfill that. But when I was in corporate and bigger affluent, I was catering to an affluent population. They were having millions of property worth millions, or good like the empire of their business, and they wanted a boy to inherit that, and girl definitely would go to somebody else's house, in spite of government has made so many laws, property laws and all those things, but girls cannot have those. So my dear friend who is millionaire, she had to go through so many abortions because in her family she was third daughter-in-law, and first so she was the elder one. Other two had sons, but she didn't have, she had only 3 daughters. So her in-laws, they actually told her that she and her husband and her daughters cannot have any money from the family property or anything. So she was so sad, and for her husband she had to go through multiple abortions for her husband to have a son, so that he also will get some part of the property and business.
Doctor, can we just ask you, one of the things you talk about in the book is when you have patients who would make demands of you or ask you questions that you were uncomfortable with. There's a chapter where you discuss, for example, a woman coming, she's lying in bed, she's a patient of yours. You've already consulted with her, you've seen her fertility and everything else. Her mother comes to you and makes the suggestion that it should actually be the mother's husband whose sperm should be used as a donor for this young daughter-in-law rather. I just want to ask you, when a situation like that happens, how do you as a doctor navigate your own code of ethics, decide where you need to come in, where you need to stay away and withdraw, respect what the patient wants? How do you make those decisions?
Okay, so the thing is that, as I said, that when I entered my post-graduation, I was quite young, in my 20s, and it's been now 25 years. So I've been hearing all these stories, all these demands, desires, desperation for boy, years after years on daily basis. So initially when I was a young bubbly doctor, I would say that I would try to preach them contraception, preach them sterilization, preach them that okay, you are also a girl, how can you be against girl, you should teach your daughters. I am a daughter too, we are 3 sisters and my father educated all of us. So I would teach them, or I would scold them or preach them. But later on I understood that their circumstances are different. Even if I teach them, I don't think they can actually implement in their own life, because the atmosphere is different, their pressure is different. And now, like, okay, now I'm immune, or I would only have sympathy for them. And at the end, I would hear them because they have so much to tell, and they are telling their stories, sad or otherwise. After listening to them, I would just convey my helplessness, that I won't be able to help them in this desire of theirs, and they can go to anywhere. But see, I would not tell them that okay, this is wrong or right. They are adults, they are persons of their circumstances. I would just convey my helplessness to them, that's it.
Right. It's almost sad to hear you say that, that you've almost become immune to the whole process now. And it also sort of tells you that things haven't changed. Decade after decade, these demands continue to be made. Our mindset continues to be that, or bent towards having a male child. On days when we are discussing gold medals more by women than men, even for India's Olympic dreams, in middle of all of this, we still want a boy. It's so hard to believe. But if I were to ask you, Dr. Kalra, what do you think works? I'm sure there are instances where you managed to change somebody. What worked? With families or with parents? Like, give me a success story.
Okay, so it's not about me being able to change their mindset. It's just I was there for my patients, with my patients. So there are patients who were coming to me one after another. She was delivering daughters, and I was there for her. I was praying every time that she gets what she wants, but I was always there for her psychological support, even when she was abused by her mother-in-law. And she is many of them are rich, affluent, educated people, educated girls. I could only give them psychological support. But what changed in the society, which in my years of practice I have seen, when girl and boy both are educated, both are studying in an institute where they met, they have that companionship, friendship. Boys are also equally respectful, and I think younger age boys, they do not have this patriarchal mindset. Only orthodox mindset comes from families, okay. So if they are living in a nuclear family, if they are educated, they actually are welcoming girls. So first daughter, they are happy. Even if they have delivered a second daughter, they are more they are happier than before. So what I have seen is that when they are educated, when they do not have influence of their family which is around them, I think then and there are so many stories, like it might be very few percentage of people, but education is the key. It would change the mindset.
But doctor, I want to ask you, and I'll push back with an example from your own book here. You do talk about how even in your own personal life, there were doctors in your own intimate circles, your relatives, your friends, who were doctors, were highly educated is what I'm trying to say, and still held those beliefs. You felt it, when you gave birth, from those who were close around you. How does one, you're fighting that battle out there at your office place. When you fight it at home, sometimes it gets a little much. So how did you personally navigate that?
Okay, so I think when there is a fabric in my story where my story has patches of different other stories of my patients. So yes, when I went through, and when I see my colleagues also were going through, which were educated and everything, I think that's when every doctor was there in the hospital and everybody was seeing this kind of female feticide or these kind of orthodox mindset, why nobody else wrote it? Why nobody else noticed it? Why? Because I was going through, I actually felt the kinship with my patients. And when the pain was filled till here, I started spilling on paper, and that's when I started writing those stories. So I managed to write those stories. I managed to talk it out on TEDx. I want a boy. I am sitting here and talking to you and spreading this awareness. And I think that's when it is out from my system, and I would want to now spread awareness that it is everybody. Like last week I was sitting in my OPD, and when an IAS officer came as a patient, and the pile of my book was there on the table, and he asked me, what is this? I said, it is my book, recently published. He said, what is it about? I said, it is about Indian mindset of having boy, and they don't want girls, sometimes they want boy. And he said, so what's wrong with it? There is nothing wrong. If you have a girl, you would definitely want to have a boy. And he was an IAS officer. So I said, okay, there is nothing wrong. I have just written my experiences. Whether you believe or whether you find it wrong or right, it's your view.
Dr. Kalra, thank you so much for sharing your story. As a mum of a girl child myself, I have to say a big thank you to you as well for spreading the word. And the more we talk about it, the better it becomes, I believe. The more we spread awareness, the more the conversation, stays on, the better it gets for future generations as well. And happy to see that younger parents are not really thinking this way. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and hope you keep that book on your table and more patients come and see it.
Right, this is the book. I hope we all raise fearless women. Okay, doctor, thank you. We're going to take you, our audiences, now from that story to something slightly different. It's a tone shift of a huge kind. This is a good story to start your day on a high note. Get ready to start with this. It's a heartwarming story about Vidit Sharma. He's stirring up more than just breakfast outside Noida. There's a hospital in Noida in particular. It's a food stall that he runs. It's called Jan Rasoi. And today, what can you actually do with 5 rupees? He's telling you exactly what. He's serving up meals with a side of dignity for just that small amount. So you give him the amount and he'll give you a plate of food.
Now, with its innovative approach, is transforming lives and turning everyday challenges into uplifting stories of hope. Curious about how this simple yet powerful initiative is making waves? Well, this is a scoop. Here's how he does it.
Hello viewers, today we are here to meet the unsung hero and celebrate a very small initiative, providing nourishment and hope to those who really need it the most. Now, outside the bustling walls of Noida's government hospital, where uncertainty and fear, worry fills the air, Vidit Sharma is serving one hot meal, home-cooked meal at a time.
Last year in flood time, we thought that there is a need to cater for humans as well. So we came up with this idea that we should serve, hygienic and affordable food in front of the government hospital. This affordable meal is serving happiness to them.
Vidit Sharma's Jan Rasoi transcends being just a food stall. It embodies empathy, catering to those in throes of a health crisis, unable to afford even a basic meal while they care for their loved ones. Jan Rasoi was born from Vidit's own experiences and a deep understanding of the struggles faced by daily wage workers. He saw the gap where people already burdened with the emotional and financial strain of medical care were left hungry and vulnerable.
Affordable meal is serving happiness to them. So this is the idea.
Okay, why 5 rupees?
That's a very important question. Why 5 rupees? So there is two aspects for this. First, in 5 rupees, there is a dignity, there is a self-respect. People come with their rights. After paying 5 rupees, they claim that the food has to be served. So first is this, and second thing, in 5 rupees, we also would be able to meet our running expenses like transportation cost and disposable cost.
Behind each meal served lies a story of resilience and hope. For many, this humble food stall is a daily reminder that they are not alone in their struggles. One elderly man shared how Jan Rasoi has become his lifeline during his extended hospital stay.
खाना बहुत अच्छा होता है।
अच्छा, वेट करते हैं इनके आने का?
हाँ, एंट्री करते हैं 10 बजे तक आ जाते हैं, फिर जाते ही मेरे को 2 प्लेट पहले घर आ जाते हैं। 10 रुपया देता हूँ, 2 प्लेट मिल जाता है। 5 में क्या होता है, 5 में कोई पैसे हैं वो, तो 5 में बस दिखाने के लिए होता है।
With the rising costs of medical care, many families are stretched thin, leaving little for basic needs like food. And Vidit's initiative offers more than sustenance. It provides a moment of relief, a chance to breathe, and a message of solidarity.
बहुत स्वादिष्ट है। 5 रुपए की तो उसमें प्लेट ही लग रही है और बहुत बढ़िया खाना बांटते हैं बेचारे, बहुत ज़्यादा।
5 रुपये में खाना आपका हमेशा खा के जाता हूँ और खाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
Vidit's empathy shines through in every interaction as he listens to the stories of those who come to Jan Rasoi. His initiative is about more than just food. It's about connecting with people, showing compassion and offering hope. Well viewers, as I finish up my meal here, I glance upon a parking rate board that charges 10 rupees for parking. A stark reminder of irony that surrounds all of us. While 10 rupees are being charged for privileges, 5 rupees are being charged for providing nourishment to the body and soul. In a world where we are ready to pay up tons of money for convenience over compassion, Jan Rasoi is serving and honestly becoming a beacon of hope for the people around here who need it the most.
All right, and that's actually true. 10 rupees for parking, that's also if you're lucky, and then 5 rupees for a meal. That's quite something. We hope good luck to all those initiatives actually happening. And now, switching gears a little bit, we will dive into the story that's making waves in the global defense arena. Now, with the recent delivery of the BrahMos missiles of the Philippines, India is now showcasing its growing influence in the defense sector. And it doesn't stop there. Our defense exports have hit an all-time high as well, reaching about 21,083 crore in just the last fiscal year.
But what's driving this surge, and how did we go from relying on others for our defense needs to actually making that shift where we're today striking landmark deals, managing to build our own cutting-edge technology, and what remains in that journey? That's a very important question. We'll take you through the impressive strides India has made, the strides it has yet to make with this report. Take this look.
With the recent delivery of BrahMos missiles to the Philippines and the rising tensions in the South China Sea, India is showing it has what it takes to become a major player in defense exports. Indian defense exports hit a record high of rupees 21,083 crore in FY 23-24, marking a 32.5% jump from the previous year's rupees 15,920 crore. Back in January 2022, India struck a $375 million deal with the Philippines for BrahMos missiles, marking them as the first export customer for this India-Russia partnership. The first batch was delivered in April, right as tensions with China were escalating. The contract covers 3 missile batteries, training for operators and maintainers, plus a complete integrated logistics support package. This landmark deal boosts the Philippines' defense and bolsters India's confidence in expanding its defense exports.
You develop a kind of rapport which allow you to sell more weapons to the receiving country. Secondly, you develop a rapport so that the other services like Philippines Army also would call for it. And Philippines, you see, Philippines Navy and Philippine Coast Guard, both are different units. So right now the Coast Guard has taken, the Philippine Navy also would take.
While there is a lot of impetus on self-reliance, the figures of the last 5 years indicate that a lot of other productions are also happening in the sector. In FY 23-24, India achieved its highest ever growth in defense production, reaching 1,26,887 crore, a 16.8% increase from the previous year. From relying on other countries for nearly all defense needs to now building its own aircraft carrier, India has made significant strides, though the path to complete self-reliance remains ongoing.
India has therefore decided to go for Atmanirbharta, wherein it is doing two things simultaneously. On one hand, it is producing the weapons required for the defense forces, be it Army, Navy and Air Force, to meet its domestic requirement. And at the same time, it has put a large and ambitious export targets for the defense exports. In fact, it has already shifted its place from one of the largest importers to top 25 exporters in the world.
You see, what happens, our Honorable Defense Minister has given us a very moderate target of $5 billion export. What I feel, in my view, that our defense PSUs, our defense private sector, DRDO, it has the capability to, in fact, export $5 billion of equipment every year. This much capability exists in the country.
Since 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi first came into power, the focus has been on Atmanirbharta in the defense sector. Along with ramping up productions, the defense industry is also focusing on exports. With deliveries of systems like BrahMos and Pinaka, the industry has also got a lot of confidence. And this is the reason why defense experts say that Indian industry is going to surpass all the given targets and India will soon be a preferred defense partner globally. With cameraman Arpit Seth, this is Akash Sharma for CNN News 18.
Next, we bring you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's first bring you an overview of the markets. GIFT Nifty indicates a stable opening for Indian stock markets. US markets gain tracking with the recovery in Japanese stocks on Tuesday. Asian markets open in the green on Wednesday. Crude oil prices edge lower on concerns about demand.
Let's look at sectors now. Power utilities are enjoying higher demand and strong growth in generation. However, quite a few of them are accelerating their renewable energy projects. Many of these under construction projects are coming on streams in the future. Overall, the sector's growth outlook is getting stronger by the day. If you want to know about it, log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the power utilities, the outlook for the sector and the various other actionable insights on the market. It is a premium destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. All right, with that, it's a wrap on today's edition. Like we said, lots of inspirational stories today. But the key takeaway is, if it's too good to be true, don't take it. Don't take that chocolate off anybody's hand. Do not fall for digital frauds.
We'll keep an eye on all our Olympians over the next few hours. We'll bring you the updates tomorrow too. For now, goodbye.